Hey, hello everyone, welcome back to this another NUKE tutorial. And in this one, as you can see on my screen, this is the shot inspired by DUNE, and this is the side-by-side comparison you can see on my screen. So this is the recently we created, and I try my best to match with this reference shot. We are not exactly matching with the reference. As you can see in this one, the model is different, but the environment and atmosphere, everything is the same. We just want to get inspired by this shot and try to make our own version. So this is the version, and I can play this one because this is not just a still shot. And you can see on my screen. So this is the fully moving, atmosphere is moving, and you can see the crowd also is moving. So in this video, I'm going to break down what I did and how I did to make this match with the reference. And if I show you the before and after, so this is the before and after. This is coming from the Maya, and the render engine is Arnold. And this is the beauty render with all the necessary passes. Like this is the deep comp, basically all these different layer. I have deep pass separately, like for the crowd is different layer, ground is different layer. This ship, this is actually a ship. So this ship is in a different layer, and the sky is just the HDRI, that's it. You can clearly see how much comp I did in this shot, and you can see the flags are missing. So those flags I added in the comp. So I will show you that setup also. And one last thing, if you want to know all the step-by-step full process of this comp, I recorded 11 hours of full video about it from start to end. I recorded everything. So if you want to watch that, please check the link down below. From there you can watch this entire 11 hours of work, how I did all the comp structure, how I add grading, everything you can see in that one fully step by step. So in this one I will just walk through the script, how I set up this script. You can see this is very big, very long script. This is how I usually make my script. I mean, I structure everything like this way. I place my all asset above, and then I use in the bottom using stamp. I hope everyone knows about the stamp. If you don't know, check the link down below. It's a very powerful tool. Get back to the comps. This is the reference and this is the output. So we just want to get inspired. So that's why we created this shot. This is like very very interesting to try to match with the reference. And so let's go step by step and see the whole process. So first I will zoom in here because this is the main area. You can see all the assets are here. What I usually do, I created bunch of asset which I'm going to use in the comp. First thing first, we need a CG renders. So if I select the CG render, you can see this CG renders in this backdrop. This CG renders using in everywhere here in the comp, and this in the asset backdrop also. So if I select any one of them, you can see it's using here also to create more asset. Basically, I created here also using here. That's how you see in this backdrop also we are using the asset multiple times. I label everything like camera, HDRI, and the reference. So I will just show you the reference. So this is the reference, and this is the with the animation. So in this one you can see how the smoke is behaving and all other things. It's very low res, but that's fine totally because this is not the point. We just need to feel the moment and everything. This is the high res. This is a single frame high res. Let's talk about all the assets first, then we will jump into the comp. This big asset backdrop have multiple backdrop. This first one we can see the full CG render one, HDRI, camera, and reference as I already mentioned. And now we have here mats. So these mats I use I think in one area. So if I just show you, yeah, you can see in the bottom I use only here, but you can use this multiple times. I mean, if you just want to do a deep holdout method, I mentioned this many times in my tutorial. So you can do a deep holdout. For that you need to create mats with the holdout each other. So how you can do that, you can see I created a stamp here for the deep and for the EXR. What I did, I just deep merge everything with this deep recolor mats. How this is work, like you can take a deep recolor mat like this. Alright, now we need to connect the deep to deep, color to color. This is like a normal deep recolor node that we have in the NUKE. So this is the default one, but the only advantage is it's supporting the stamp. So if I just click grab title, it is grabbing this title and putting here, and then I can just do the inject mat. So what this will do, it will create a mat based on this alpha. If I go to the layer, you can see here we have this ground mat. Now if I see the ground mat here, and as I go with the deep combine, you can see it's doing a holdout with all other layers. So because we are merging the deep, all the layers we can see here is getting hold out each other. So if I show you the crowd also getting hold out. So if I view the crowd only here, it's not hold out, but if I view in the deep combine with the deep merge, they get hold out. The same way for the ship. So this is a ship and it's get hold out. But if I see without if I see the deep recolor matte, there is no hold out, but if I see at the end, it is getting hold out. So this is very useful, and then you can render this thing with all the mattes. So we have this crowd, ground and the ship, they all hold out each other. This is very useful if you want to do a deep hold out setup. In this comp I'm not doing deep hold, this is completely deep. At the end you can see it's all deep merge and then deep to image, and then I'm doing a pre-comp here. So let's first see the assets. So now what we have this ground, shape and the crowd. So we are all merging, and now we have this deep combine. So I'm using this deep combine in multiple areas down in the stream. Why? Because you want to do some holdouts for the 2D layers. So that's why if I just show you, this is only a deep pass, there is nothing inside. So if you want, you can just render this one out, because this scene is very big. That's why we need to go very push to the limit in the viewer, so you can see the deep layer properly. We have here the slap comp. So this is just slap comp with merging all the layers. This is just adding a shadow in the ground, and we have all the layers, and we have this slap comp ready. And here we have some textures, because in the ship you can see it's very flat looking, so we are adding some textures here. So those textures are here, and some atmosphere layers here, some texture mapping. So these are all the assets which I'm using in multiple times. So I select here, you can see they all using here. So let's see the process of doing a large scale of shots, because this render is very big. I mean, the scale is very big in this shot. So first thing first, we always need to do what you call the CG rebuild. So this is exactly what I'm doing here. So this time I'm doing little different way. So I will show you how. And first we always need to do unpremerged, and in the first line I'm doing a remove, because I want to remove all the passes so I can merge all passes from here to here. So that's how I did. You can use shuffle to do the passes extraction, but in this shot what I did, I have this expression here. So this expression here, and if I go to the user tab, I can select any channel from here, and that channel gets shuffled out. Why I'm doing this instead of using shuffle, I will show you here in the diffuse direct. So let's see if I shuffle out the diffuse direct, what will happen. So this is the diffuse direct. So this is diffuse direct, but if I view this diffuse direct, you can see there is something is off. And what is that? In this diffuse direct there is no color information here. In this diffuse direct there is color information also and the light information also. So using this expression node, what I did, I selected my diffuse direct and I selected my albedo pass, and I did the divide operation here. If I just show you the zoom in, if I do the zoom in, now you can see what I am here telling, do the divide operation from this to this, and in between you can see the divide, right? So I'm doing a divide operation for the red, green and for the blue channel. From here I'm selecting the passes what I want. So I'm removing this. Instead of, you can do with the shuffle also. What you can do, you can just shuffle out the diffuse direct, and you can just shuffle out the albedo pass, and then you can take the merge and do the divide, and you will get the same result, right, from here to here. But now you can see this is very clean. Instead of doing 3 nodes, I'm doing in a 1 node, and then I'm adding expression here. That's it. And this expression is to kill the nan pixel. You can see when you do the divide with the expression, you get a nan pixel. You can see here it's showing the nan in red and green blue. So with the expression you can put this value in red, green and blue. So you can take the screenshot from here and you can add in your expression node, and you have a nan pixel killer. Basically it basically any nan pixel into like 0. Now you can see if I do the on off, this nan pixel getting 0. So I did that, and that's it. Then I do the same thing for all the other layers. So this is like albedo pass again, and I'm doing diffuse indirect, same thing, dividing with the albedo pass, and we get this. And here once we do the albedo pass, and then we have this diffuse direct, and then I did a multiply here, because they are just what you call, they need to multiply each other, then you can get a proper diffuse lighting. And here I did the same thing for the diffuse indirect and albedo. I just removed the color from it and then I did the multiply. So now we have the diffuse indirect and we have this diffuse direct, and then we did the plus here, so we get a combined lighting. And then I did the same thing for the specular pass. So this is the specular pass, this is a specular albedo, and this is specular direct, and this is the again specular albedo, and this is the specular indirect. So did the multiply here for both of them and then did the plus. Now we get a specular, this is the combined specular. Then we did the plus, so this is the diffuse coming and this is a specular coming. See that specular? Then we have one more layer which is called the emission, but there is no emission, but again I just shuffled out everything and then did the plus. So now this is matching with the beauty. Now I have correction, so I will just turn off everything and then I will show you. Alright, so all the corrections are off. Now if I show you from here to here, except the unprimed, everything is matching, right? 1 to 1. See, I'm doing 1 to 1, everything is matching 1 to 1. And again, if you want a project file, go to my Patreon, project files are there for this entire comp. So now this is done, and here I'm adding a reflection, so I will tell you this later. Let me just turn off for now. Now we have this, so now we have this ground layer ready. So I did the same thing for all the layers. So this is all the same layer, just shuffling out this is a ship one and just merging here the ship one. The same way I'm doing for the crowd. So this is the layer for the crowd layer is merging here, and then I did the pre-comp for the all layer, converting deep. I'm merging everything in a deep and deep to image and then pre-comp. Now after this I need to add a flag. So if I show you the render, we have one flag layer, so I just need to find that. So this is the flag we have, and this is just a still single frame, there is no movement, nothing. Somehow we need to add that flag in the scene. So if I show you the final pre-comp, there is no flag here, right? There is totally empty. Every color correction is done, this empty flag. This is the very empty. So this is a flag scattering here. So in the NUKE, you can use this tool, the M scatter, and you can scatter anything on a geo. So for the geo, I'm using a card. Let me just remove this noise. I placed this card where my crowd is. Using this M scatter, I can get, I can place object like this, and you can see. So I can place object like this and I can get a flag. The similar thing I did here. If I show you this one, so you can see now we have the flag. Let me go here and disable this thing so you can see the flag. So I hope you can see we have this flag here, this one flag here. So this is just a bunch of cards, but it's doing automatically. You don't need to plug multiple cards. It's just a one node and we get a flag in everywhere. So I made two versions of it. So this one and this one. So they both are getting a different animation. So if I show you here and if I just play, now they are scattering in a proper position, and if I just play, see this one and this one is not the same animation, they have a different animation. So this animation is driving through the noise. So this is just a noise and I'm just using the PXF distort to do the warping animation on this one using the noise. That's it, that is the animation. And then I'm doing the here you can see we have this render. Then I did, if you remember, we created this deep combine layer. So I'm doing a deep hold out here, automatically cut where the crowd is. Then deep to image, then doing a pre-comp, then merging on the layer. So now they are properly hold out. You can see because of the deep, they are properly merging and doing hold out operation. This way we can exactly place in the depth. So after all of this, I did a global CC here, just to get the feeling. You can see the brightening up and just changing the black level. And then here we have this small haze setup. So this haze setup is very cool. So I will show you. First of all, we need the depth pass. So I shuffle out the depth pass from the pass itself. So now we have this proper depth pass. As I said, this scene is very big scale. I need to go very down to see the depth. You can see this is the depth. I'm using this tool called deep size. You can find this in my script. Using this, I'm just normalizing this depth pass, and for the hazing, I'm using this constant node. So this constant, I selected this color, and how I selected this color, if you remember, we have the reference, right? So you can go from the DUNE reference and you can select like any color like this one or this one. I think I selected the average color like this, and then I modify the color. So the idea is first select the color, and I know this is not matching exactly, so then need to modify. So I selected this color and I modified, and then on the bottom you can see I did a more modification. I did the saturation reduction and this one, so now it's not orange. But when you combine with your output, then it will look correct. See in this one, see the haze amount, it's very subtle. It's not a very big haze amount. It's very subtle haze amount. So you need to very mindful when you're adding a haze. This is the haze map, and then I did a mask for that constant. Right now we get this, and if I just disable what I did here, and then if you view, so this much correction we have to do to balance the haze. So in this one you can see the haze is coming overall, but we have this proper matte, but still the haze is coming overall. You can see the more haze here also, and you can see the more haze here also. But when I enable all this correction, you can see the haze is much more balanced now. You can see less haze here, more haze in the back. So all these color corrections. So here I'm using these deep holdout mattes to only apply the grading here. Now you can see this is the ground one, and this is for the ship. So because we have the crypto mattes, so I'm using a crypto mattes to do the grading on the haze. This is again you can use this to push the depth pass more, and you can use that in your grading also. So in the grade I'm using to push this, and again the ship. So this is the back one. We have this look, and after this then you can do the mask. And here in the multiplier I did RGB only 0.7, and then I merge it here. Obviously you need to see everything together when you combine with your sky layer. We will get that in a minute. After this one I created one stamp here. So this is like a final pre-mult, because there is a pre-mult here, right? You can see. And so if I view it here, you can see it's using multiple areas. So let's see one by one. So we have this big box called smoke, and if I view it here I can play, and in this smoke layer you can see we have multiple layers, right? We have this very close to camera layer, we have this far layer, and we have very far layer that is almost static. Multiple layers in a smoke, and that's create a proper depth for the scene. So I'm using this deep holdout method here to hold out these layers from the actual scene, so we get a proper depth. Let me just quickly show you the setup. So we have this smoke layer, right? So I place it with the scanner render, and I place it according to the depth, and then I'm using this deep blur. I will show you why. So this is this card is placing here, so you can see it's properly hold outing this part. But disable this deep, now it will cut, like this is a flat cut, but we want that feathering look. To get that feathering look, you need to add this deep blur. So this is custom made node. You can find this in a script, and after doing deep hold out you can do the deep to image. But now the big problem is this smoke, we don't have any color information. We need color information in this smoke. To get that, see this final pre-mult. So we are using this final pre-mult here to add a color value. I did a crop and I did a blur operation, and you already know what I'm doing here. I'm converting linear to HSV. Same thing here, converting linear to HSV, and just copying the red and green channel from A to B, and then converting back. So basically, and then doing a pre-mult, doing a unpremult and pre-mult, and doing this operation inside the unpremult and pre-mult, right? So this chunk. So this way, for disable, you can see we're just adding a color. We're not changing the luminance. So this is a very good way to add a color. And then this is the overall multiplier. We have this reformat here, so I'm combining all the layers one by one. So you can see how this is building, and this is this, and this is this. 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of smoke, and then we have this pre-mult here, and we have this pre-comp here. And if you play, you get this result. Obviously, this is not easy as it's looking. You need to do a lot of R&Ds. We need to see a lot of placement where you need to place. You can see I have 2 copies here. I'm just checking which one will work. The card placement is very important, where you need to place the card in 3D space. All is very important. But I'm not gonna go very deep in this, because as I said, I already have step-by-step process recorded. So you have to watch that, then you can understand exactly how I am doing R&Ds, how I'm placing the card and doing some small correction also. So let's continue, and then I can merge with the background with the sky layer. The sky layer is also some CC is going on. So this is the HDR I'm using, and I believe this HDR is coming from HDR Heaven. I'm not sure. I think this is coming from HDR Heaven. Yeah, I think this is coming from HDR Heaven, so you can check that. Just applying on a very big sphere, rendering through camera. Now we have this sky, just changing the whole color because I want that sky, because that sky is very flat and I want that sky only. So now the grading part, like I'm just, you know, based on the reference, based on the everything, I'm doing this grading. So I can't tell you what I did, it just need to match with the reference, that's it. And this node, this is very cool one. So I'm using Roto to create a far mountain, right? Let me just view it here. So if I just comma down, so if I show you the at the end, if I zoom in, you can see this far mountain, right? In the full brightness also you can see little bit. I'm not sure in the YouTube you can see or not, but it is there, right? So I'm using this Roto to just add a mountain shape like this and doing a multiply like point, that's it, and it will give you the, you know, distance mountain. So that's how you can, you know, fake it if you want to add, you know, distance mountain. So this is the way I add these mountains, just normal 2D, that's it, 2D Roto. You don't need to add you know, fancy mountain image there. And then everything is lining up. Then we have this heat distortion. If I show you footage, you can see there is a heat distortion going on in the all the image. You can see all the image is warping because of the heat distortion, because this is very you know, sand, this is like desert, right? So that's why we have that heat distortion. So to get the heat distortion, I'm using this heat wave. To add the distortion, I'm using this heat wave. This is very good node, so highly recommend. And I'm applying based on the depth. Again, I'm using 2 heat distortion node and depth map. So in this one, I'm mostly focusing on the far area, and this one is close one. You can clearly see. So these two, and if I just play my output, see the heat distortion. Now I think you can clearly see the heat distortion here and here. See that? So that is something we really needed. So after that, just, you know, CG softening, just softening the image, vignetting and adding a grain. So in this one, I forgot to add a lens distortion. So let me add a lens distortion, and I think this shot is not required, so that's why I didn't add that. So lens distortion, you can use this lens distortion, and you can, you know, just change the dominators and you can get a distortion like this. If you ask me, I will add very subtle if it's required, that's it. I mean, like this much is fine, but I think I forgot to add, but that's totally fine. You can add if you want. So obviously you can get, you're already going to get the project file, so you can change anything in this form. But this is the idea, this is the whole overall process. So let me just quickly show you the very big one. If you see, so you can see the slab comp and the final one, there are a lot of changes in the textures. So if you remember, in my last video I also show you, you know, the texture mapping using the UV map in that robot one, but this time I'm not using any UV map. I'm using a position pass to add a texture, and you can see it's very cool. See this completely changing the texture of this thing. And here also you can see, here also it's flat, and this side, like this side is very cool. It's like a leakage map. So let me just quickly show you how I add this one. So I created one tool. So this tool is called the position to UV. What this tool does, you need a position pass. If you have a world position pass or object position pass, it will work on the both, because this scene is not moving. I mean, the camera is not moving and this object also is not moving. So this position pass is fine. If the camera is moving, this position pass is also work. But if your object is moving, like this is actually moving, then you need what we call the object position pass. Then your texture will stick to the object. But in this case, object is not moving. You can use this to create a ST map. The basic idea is you need position pass, so you can create a ST map from it, and then you can use ST map to stick any texture like this. I'm using this texture using ST map. Now it's wrapping here properly. Let me just copy paste this one, and if I just show you the control, if I move this position pass, position center, the texture is sliding on the object and it's wrapping around it. It's not like flat projection. See, it's wrapping around properly in this 3D model like this. See this part? It's very cool, right? And not only this one, because this is a combined one, I have this back, the far ship, right? This far ship. So I can wrap here also. See this? So that is the whole idea. Let me just delete. I have this one. So it's creating a ST map based on the point, based on that axis, that this point where you placing this point, it will stick the texture there. You can go here and you can do all the transformation, like all the scaling, the texture, everything, rotation, everything I did here. You can see the texture, only the crop is there is nothing transformation. You can add transformation, like you can add transformation here and you can do the scaling and everything. What I did in this node, you can do with this transformation outside also, but I did everything in this tool. And then we are creating some mats to this one, because I don't want texture to be on that part, so I just I did the hold out. That's it. This is the way I created a lot of texture mapping on that object. See, this part is different texture for this part and different texture for the top part, this far one also. Like this, I'm created a lot of texture maps here and I'm using them here in the shader passes. So this is the diffuse direct. So in the diffuse direct, I use this one a lot, and at the end you will see this kind of texture mapping, and when you see the final combine, it will look like this. So if I off this, where is that texture map? Yeah, so all this, if I off this one, see this is the clean one. Now we have this texture. This is very cool, right? Here also you can see just adding a few texture. This is very similar way what I show in that robot UV texture mapping. Similarly, I'm using this as a matte, and in the grade I'm just changing the opacity. That's it. And I'm doing the same thing here for the specular direct also. So in this one also I'm using few maps here, and let me just show you here. If I off this, you will see how much texture I'm adding. Here also I'm adding a texture, and here also just enhancing the look. See here also, and for the far one also leakage textures, that will look very good after this one. And then I'm adding overall also, because this is what we did in the passes, right? Then I'm doing outside also. Outside I have this map for this bar, then I'm adding a texture here. See, changing the whole texture here. Then all this color correction and just copying the alpha, then pre-multing it. That's it. So this is very good way to add texture to any layer using the position pass. Now if I just show you the haze, see the haze amount. See, haze is doing very subtle amount. It's not doing crazy changes in the scene. And one more thing, if I just show you you can see in the far one, you can see the reflection on the sand. So this is called like a mirage illusion. So it's showing the same thing. It's like telling us there is a water, but actually there is no water in this surface. It's actually a mirage. So we need to recreate that. So what I did in our comp, you can see the mirage kind of look. You can see the reflection on them. See this reflection also. Here also you can see reflection. And if you zoom in, you can clearly see a reflection. You can see the reflection of these soldiers here little bit. I hope you can see it. But overall, we have a very nice reflection here. It just, I'm using the same layer, just flipping it and merging it over. That's it. I can show you quickly here. So this is the reflection pass here. So I'm taking this crowd layer. I'm just and this is very cool, guys. I'm using deep crop. I'm using a deep a lot in this comp. If you get the project file, you can clearly see how much deep I'm using. So I'm using a deep crop and to crop specific area to get the alpha. So in this one, you can see I'm just cropping these two front soldiers, because we don't have a proper selection in the Cryptomat also. So I need to do a deep crop somehow. So I'm using this deep crop node to animate also, because the objects are moving, right? The soldiers are moving. So now I can remove the front soldier and I can get only this part. And without this, I can get the front one. So I need to remove the front one and I can get the back. So I'm just masking them out and mirroring it like this, and that's it. Then I'm integrating it using the stencil operation, some stenciling, multiplying, and just overing here. So you can see. So one by one, if I show you, so this is the another one for that ship. This is the another one for that back ship, and this is for the soldier one, like these soldiers. If I just show you here, you can see there is some reflection. It's very subtle, and I'm not sure what is this. Yeah, this is those far one here also. See, little bit of reflection here. At the end, some color correction, copying, and pre-multing all, and deep recolor. So this is the setup, guys, and this is the whole comp of this DUNE inspired shot. And as I said, if you want to see the full step by step the process, I have a recorded video, and I think this is only for my Patreon and for my members only. I think you can check the link below so for more information about where you can access that file. So that's it guys, I hope you like this one, and this is very quick breakdown. Just want to show you the process, the overall process, how I did the whole comp structure and how I match the look. So the matching the look is very step by step. It's not exactly matching, but we need to get inspired. So this is just getting inspired and creating the shot. It's not like one-to-one copy. In the future we try to copy the similar look, and we'll show you our process. So I hope you like this one. So thank you for watching. Check the link down below for the project file and everything. As I said, we will see you in the very next one. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.